Hi, this is Steve Latham with the Yale Interdisciplinary Center for Bioethics, and I'm speaking now with Sue Kopp. And Sue, why don't you tell our camera audience a little bit about your own background, your own educational background.
I am a veterinarian, and I had the privilege of being here in 2010 for a sabbatical from the City University of New York. I'm a professor emeritus there, and I had taught in the veterinary technology program. Before that, I had been with the animal shelter system for the City of New York, and so in 2010, I wanted to take some time to explore the relationship between the understandings of pain in animals and its implications for interdisciplinary thought. So I put together a proposal, and it was accepted, and so it was a privilege really to be here for that time. And while I was here, I participated in the Scholar Study Group, the Animal Ethics Scholar Study Group, and met just some really amazing people.
And then you proceeded to become the leader of that group for a while, right? Bringing in all these speakers on all different aspects of animal ethics, right? And then you become affiliated with our Summer Institute over the years too, also teaching animal ethics. How many times?
Let's see, we developed the course because I think the program was just a few years old, is that correct?
Yes,
in 2010. Right. And there was a sense that there was an interest among the students for a couple areas related to environmental ethics and to animal ethics issues. So we brainstormed a bit, I think also with you, and we developed the 6-class seminar and focused on a number of areas. For example, an overall, why is animal ethics important to bioethics? How does it relate directly and indirectly? Then we spent one class looking at the use of animals in research, for example. You could have spent a whole semester on that. We spent a class looking at the agricultural aspects related to animals and the use of animals, how animals tend to be kind of one of the weaker links in intensive farming. What does that mean, even economically, environmentally? We spent a class looking at, in general, at how we value animals, the trends towards animal rights, the trends toward classifying them as persons. And it was just a wonderful seminar. We had a cross-section of students. Some were in the medical sciences, but were potentially going to be working with animals in the future for research and wanted to grapple with those issues. We had those that were very committed in looking at environmental issues and realizing the impact of eating meat, etc. So it was just a great experience. I taught it from 2010 to 2015.
And then you moved out of the country for a little while,
I did.
So you couldn't continue doing it. And now we have, this summer we have 2 people teaching it together, but you're back teaching a brand new course, right?
Right.
Can you say a little bit about that?
Sure. We, coming back, knowing they were doing a great job with the class, these 2 other instructors, we spoke a bit also with Lori, your colleague, and so what is it that students might potentially need that also there seems to be an interest in? And one of the things I reflected on recently was how, in light of all the polarizing issues we're dealing with, that also include a number of issues in bioethics, and at the same time, some of those issues have very much a component that deals with people's religious faith and their beliefs and those frameworks. And having also worked extensively in the fields related to dialogue, to interreligious dialogue outside of my own professional curriculum, we bantered around the idea of putting together a class, and we called it Finding Common Ground, Bioethics, Religion, and Dialogue. And this class would allow students 2 possibilities. We thought of those students that perhaps grew up in a religious framework that didn't expose them to common tenets in Judaism or in Christianity related to things like the value of life at its beginning or the value of life at its end. Or in particular, the value of suffering. And some scholars say that bioethics speaks to minimizing suffering, but how does a person's belief about its value in their life affect maybe patient decisions or family decisions? So we thought the class could run along 2 tracks. One was this track, presenting just very basic tenets, especially for those students that don't have that exposure. Perhaps they come from a family with no particular religious beliefs, or they come from Hinduism, since our students are so international, like in my class now. And then the second track that seemed to go with it was that it would be great to be able to present a few tools for dialogue. Not necessarily a religious setting, but just simply what if they end up in a job on a hospital ethics committee or working in mediation, and they find themselves in a situation where there's real need for conversation, but a collective conversation, which is what dialogue is. You know, how can they open that door? Why is listening important? How can they help improve the respect of all the ideas and maybe generate a new possibility for a solution to that? So it's been a class that's been very challenging. It would be a 6-month class, but it's been wonderful. The students are amazing.
It's almost over. You've had 5 of your 6 sessions.
5 of the 6 sessions.
And how's it gone?
It's gone great. We absolutely haven't had time to do everything, but the students are they're just really, I think it's going really well. The students are asking, today we spent a whole conversation around tenets related to procreation, to assisted reproduction. Why might a Christian who is Catholic think in this particular way? What about in Orthodox Judaism? Just sharing very introductory points and providing them with a lot of information that they can go with. So I think it's going well.
Good. And are you excited to maybe teach it again in the future?
I am. I absolutely am. Especially because it's just great students and great colleagues.
Well, great. Thank you very much for sitting for this little interview. And thanks for teaching in our summer program for so many years. That's great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan.
Great.